We are live now. So Vince, thanks so much for offering to be a part of the William & Mary Hip Hop Collection.
Oh man, it's an honor. Thanks for having me, Kevin.
So just to get started, would you mind introducing yourself?
Vince Loyal, General of Virginia Grind family, representative of Virginia Beach, Virginia.
All right. So would you talk a little bit more, discuss a little bit more the history of Virginia Grind family?
Well, Virginia Grind family, it was started a year and a half ago, March 2012. Yeah, March 2012. Me and my partner, Bryce Shiflett, he does a lot of online work, and I was doing being an artist, but I didn't have that other partner to help me, because right now it's viral with music, with promoting and everything. So I didn't have that guy, so I met him and we came together. And I was just meeting a lot of other artists that were solo that had their own fan base, but in Kenya, it's they say a lot of hate, but it's half and half. But I just grabbed a couple good friends I knew that were good artists, and we all just came together to basically make a collective fan base. Basically get everybody else music out there. And when we did shows or anything, it's like we bring each one of our fans there, and it made it way better. When they talked about Virginia not having unity, we just showed that there is unity. You have to take the chance and just do it.
Okay, so when you talk about when you talk about you, yourself, and everybody else in the Grind family as artists, are we talking everybody's an MC, a DJ, or do you also do any visual arts as well?
We have a couple guys on our team that do graphic design. We work with some producers that are basically affiliated with us. Like I said, we have online promotions. I have a couple other promoters that do the job too. I got our manager, Jimmy Green.
Yeah.
And we're working on just growing each day. It's a daily grind. We represent our name. We're Virginia Grind family. We represent the state, and we grind hard daily, and we're all family. So.
Okay, so.
Everybody plays.
Yeah. In terms of talking about you guys as a family, would you mind just discussing your personal family history a little bit? Now, are you Virginia native?
I was born in Texas. And then I came up in New Jersey, a rough part of New Jersey. And then my dad, he was in the military, so he came in and got me when I was a little younger. He moved me back to Texas. I was getting in trouble, so he came and got me. I was getting in trouble. He moved to Alaska, where he was stationed, and he told me, hey, if you don't quit getting in trouble, I want to send you to military school and all that. But I was like, man, send me to military school. But he denied that and brought me to Alaska. So when I moved to Alaska, I calmed down. And I actually started to appreciate life more. And then from there, me and my dad really never got along when I was growing up. So when I graduated, it was a time for me and him to get along, just trying to get that bond. So he was getting stationed in California before he retired. So I went with him, and we roomed together for a year, and it was actually one of the best years of my life. I actually got to really have a better bond with my father.
Yeah.
And I joined the United States Navy. I joined the Navy, went to Washington State, in Bremerton, Washington, and over there, I came to Virginia and fell in love with it. And I never really had a place to call home, you know, so I've been around so, and like I fell in love with it from the scenery and the people that I came across.
Mm-hmm.
They always treated me like family, so I claim that's my home. So now I claim it and I represent it to the fullest. Like there's been nothing but I wouldn't change it for nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's amazing how many folks you know end up in Virginia, because I'm a transplant as well. You just sort of find yourself here and you're like, oh, this place is pretty good, you know. So okay, now I'm curious about what was your first memory of hip hop?
Oh man, my first memory of hip hop was when I first heard, like I really fell in love with it when I heard like Wu-Tang Clan. Like the way they just put their words, and they were really, there was all kind of stories, the way the beats were, and then they had like a bunch of different stories. So that's and they were very lyrical, and their delivery was different, and they just took the world by storm, you know. And a lot of people call the Virginia Grind family like the new age Wu-Tang, because we have a lot of different styles. So there definitely was a big part of it. When I first heard Tupac, that's what really formed me. So he was definitely a big inspiration with me with music, because I first started off with poetry. So like he was a poet too, and you know I could relate to a lot of the songs that he was saying. Like he made it where it was very. He wrote his music where it was deep, but it was layman terms. You know, it wouldn't go over your head, but it was like straight to the point. And I like the way he structured his music. You know, so I definitely took that and over time like created my style. Instead of like being like him, it's mine, but with my own story. But like making it in layman terms, but where people can catch it, because it's way easier when you just hit them right in the face instead of going over their head so much.
Right, right. So I mean that's interesting. You bring up a really interesting point about you know, writing poetry first and then getting into the music. So how? So Tupac was it really listening to Tupac, becoming a fan of Tupac? Is that when you thought, oh, I like poetry, but oh, here's another way I can take poetry after hearing Tupac?
Yes.
Okay.
That's definitely what happened. Like I used to write poetry all the time, and I heard how he was writing. Like I heard when I heard the songs, I basically tell how he was writing it, and I like would compare it to what like my poetry. Like, okay, this is how he was doing it, you know. I could easily transfer my poetry. You know, once I learned what he was doing, I could easily transfer it like to songs. After like he was basically my teacher, showing me how to really do it.
Do you have a favorite Tupac song?
Man.
Well, there's so many, you know.
There's so many. But I can honestly say like my one of my favorites Tupac songs is I Ain't Mad at You. That's what it. And like if I could name just a couple, just Dear Mama. Yeah. And like one that people don't really like. My third one is like off his Machiavelli one. It's a song called Blasphemy. You know, that's like one of my favorites, because the way he just took it like to a different level, just speaking on like life and death, and you know, learning the rules to survive. Because that's what we have to learn as we're coming up in this world. You know, like listening to our elders try to and like they teach us the rules to make it, because we're not guaranteed to make it each day. You know, so when I was listening to that song, like I was like, man, he's teaching me how to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my favorite songs too.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm curious about, especially for the fact that you have lived in so many different parts of the country. I mean, all over. I mean, you can't get much farther than Alaska, all the way back down to Virginia. But in terms of just like what was on the radio or the hip hop that folks were listening to, did you notice any difference, or were folks pretty much listening to the same thing, or what?
Oh, when like going from different areas. Yeah. Oh, of course they play like the same like the major radio was the same everywhere. Mm-hmm. But I could honestly say that what showed me like the way that I really wanted to do it was California, and that's why I am the way I am right now as an independent artist. Because California, is a very big state when it comes to independent artists. Mm-hmm. They really support the underground music, and I heard artists over there that a lot of people never even heard of over there, but they were stars over there. When I lived there that 1 year, like Brother Lynch and X-Rated and Sally Said, like big time dudes over there that people weren't even listening to, but I see that they were doing what they love, and they were just really in like California and like the Northwest region, and they were basically doing it.
Right.
And nobody would hear them on the radio every minute of the day.
Right.
So living there showed me that all you have to do is, just make the music that people want to hear internationally, and especially right now with the way technology is, all you got to do is make good music, and they're gonna come to you.
Mm-hmm.
So your fans will come to you.
Yeah. So in terms of you. Not only listening to hip hop and becoming interested in the art form of hip hop, even though you're moving around a lot, were there any family members or friends that were also sharing your passion for hip hop?
I got my passion for the hip hop culture from my uncle, R.I.P. My Uncle Brian. I love him to death. He was a DJ. Mm-hmm. He was like one of the big DJs, like in New Jersey, in the area, and like I used to see him with his records just scratching, and my dad, he was big into he just loved music. Like my dad taught me a lot about music, like all kind of genres. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm open-minded to everything. I listen to rock, country, gospel, mm-hmm. classical. Jazz, blues, anything that, as long as it's a great song, I thank my dad for that. He showed me at a young age that every music, like, to open your minds up to every man's story, every woman's story. Mm-hmm. So, it actually helped me more to create my style as a hip-hop artist.
Yeah.
And it just, like there's certain ways that I harmonize in my songs where it's like a rock. It sounds like a rock song, or I might sing in it, or the way that I construct a verse is deep and dark, like a gothic song, or I might just go, real, what do you call it, spiritual, and it might sound like a gospel song,
Right.
So like every genre definitely had an influence on me, and like my uncle was definitely a major influence on me. To get into hip-hop. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that sort of takes us nicely to the next question then is, how would you define hip-hop?
Oh, man. Hip-hop is the story of the streets. Of every neighborhood. Like, it don't matter if it's a trailer park, the ghetto, the suburbs, the world is hip hop. It's just the voice. Mm-hmm. Hip hop is the voice of the streets. Of the struggle. Because people struggle in every part of society. Just because like a person might be well off, that doesn't mean that the parents are well off. That doesn't mean that person's well off.
Right.
Parents might not give them the money. They might say, you don't get no money because I don't like you, you know. So it's like trouble too. So he might, you know, voice his opinion in a different way, you know, different. So hip hop is the voice of the people that like are fighting the struggle, or you know, just having a good time. It's just a voice from everybody.
Okay, so I mean, we mentioned this a little bit earlier. We talked about it, but definitely Wu-Tang Clan, Tupac, also your uncle and your father as influences. But any other influences that have you know helped shape who you are as an artist?
I have to say that definitely, you know, my higher power, and my grandmother, and my brother. You know, my brother passed, and like I seen, like I was my brother because like he's a big reason, because seeing his death at a young age. You know, I felt a lot of hate. I felt a lot of. I didn't like the world. I couldn't stand the world. I couldn't stand nothing. Like, so I was getting in like a lot of trouble, and I needed to figure out how to vent. You know, so that's when the poetry came in. You know, and that's when. And like a lot of times, what else influenced me? Like I said, my brother's death, my grandma's death. Like my whole life, I've seen a lot of death. You know, seeing a lot of death, like it made me just want to just tell the story of the people that passed away that I care for. You know, basically still helping them live through me. You know. So they were definitely a major influence, man, and I do it each day for them still.
You know, so going back to poetry, So you know, you're describing sort of picking up the pen and writing as a way to vent, as a way to sort of to deal with some really strong emotions in terms of losing family members. I'm curious as like how you chose poetry over a different form of writing, like, you know, as opposed to like writing short stories or something like that.
Oh, I actually did write stories, you know. Reason why I chose like hip hop because like I'm a born leader, you know. And I have a lot of people that look up to me, and I got a lot of people that consider me my like their brother. And when I chose hip hop, it was like I could express more. You know, plus I'm very active. I like to perform. I like to be in front of your face. You know, I like to just hear that music blasting behind me when I'm on stage. Like it's just a big adrenaline rush. Like I just black out. And then after I'm done, it's like my body, I'm tired. Like it's like I just ran 10 miles, you know. And it's like it's like the best high ever. And then like I wouldn't change it for nothing. Like I'll be broke, and I would just love to just perform, like until my death. You know, this is a part of me.
Okay, so in terms of then, you know, talking about, I mean, really what comes through is just you know, how in terms of the art that you create and then hip hop, that it's about, you know, building relationships, maintaining relationships, perhaps creating and maintaining community as well. So in terms of some of these themes that seem to be coming through, I'm curious about how you would describe your own style as an artist.
My style?
Yeah.
Like just straight to the point. You know, I want to tell you like what other people won't tell you. Like compare like a Eminem. You know? Like anything that he thinks, he just saying it. You know, he don't just say. It is like, oh, I might hurt somebody's feelings. I don't care if I hurt your feelings, because You know, a lot of times the truth hurts. So when I'm speaking, it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I can't really say my style is just like one thing because my style is like very versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of big things like these days is what delivery, your flow and everything. And like I spend like some time really mastering the way I deliver. So my flow and my delivery is they're gonna be different on each song. Like my emotions will switch. So when my emotions switch, I have to change my cadence. You know, because I don't want to be going too hard, and I'm going off beat now because I'm trying to like release all this emotion into that track. So I have to calm down. When I calm down, it's going to switch. Like my voice is going to change just a little bit. Once my voice changes, it's going to be like a different kind of cadence.
Right.
So it's like my style is very versatile. Like no one track of mine sounds the same. No track. So that's why I put. I strive to make sure that because I don't want nobody to ever say I knew he was about to say that. You know,
right?
I want to keep people.
Yeah, make sure that folks they always got to listen because they don't know.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, you know, sort of brings me then to if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about your creative process. So, sort of run me through if you wouldn't mind, like. From the initial idea for a song to, you know, finishing the track, like how does that happen?
A lot of times, like say, like right now I'm working on my EP, and then I'm working on my album. So what I do, I'll get like about 15 tracks from like a producer. 15 to 20 tracks. Bryce would get some tracks for me. So I go through the tracks and I just listen to them. Listen to them. Because each beat is going to talk to you. Like every beat that you hear, like it talks to you. It tells you like what to put to it. So once I'm listening, I go over the track. I go over it. Then I come up with my chorus. You know. I come up with my chorus because that's going to be like the foundation for the song. Because once I have the chorus, and the chorus is going to fit the beat because you got to make sure that the chorus rides with the sounds and the beat, and it got to be catchy. So you make sure that is crisp. Like you make sure that's done. I make sure that's done. So once I have the chorus now, I can actually structure the song. I can actually start writing my verses because I know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, I don't want to just go in there and just start talking about nothing. You know, if I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So having have the right beat, and then once I have the right beat, I make the right chorus, and then I'm able to write my songs. Now, a lot of times, like say, I like killing a verse. Like I like to come over, murder the first verse. You know, so I get done with that song, right? And say if I take 3 beats. I got 3 beats, 3 songs that I'm working on. Okay? First I knocked out all the hooks. So all the hooks are done. Now, I take that one beat, and each one of those songs are going to be on different subjects. So the way that I'm thinking while I'm writing these songs is going to be a different thought process of like constructing the lyrics for them.
Right.
So, that one song is done. I write the first verse, right? I'm done with that one. Then I go to the next one. Come up with another first verse for that one. Then I come up to the next one. I come up with another first verse for it. Then as the day, cause like it depends if I'm in like that kind of mood where I want to finish it that day. Normally I take like a 2-day process to make the song complete because I like to go over the first verse in my head like through the day to see which way I feel for the second or third verse. You know, to where it's not sounding alike. And like I told you before, I like to be versatile to where I'm switching my second verse too, or third verse. Either I got to put a bridge, or I want to bring in the hook earlier, or I want to add on to the hook. It's like the basically like that's my process to make it a song. I'm very, very picky. It has to be perfect, especially when I go with the engineer. I'm in there with the engineer telling them do this, do that, because this is you know. And like the way you constructed it, it's going like to me. That's why I do music because I want to live forever. I always want to live forever. That's why I wanted to do music, because music is going to be, my voice is going to be heard forever.
Right.
So if and my voice is going to be heard forever, has to be put out the best way that it can in every aspect. So I can't rush what I'm doing on my end, especially if this song's going to be heard forever. I don't want to be put back in buried as a fossil, where people just don't even just skim past your music. No, I want to be a legend. But that's why I kind of construct the songs the way I do.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up as I'm thinking, like this interesting tension, especially the ability for folks to make music nowadays, with technology that it's that a lot of people now have the ability to do it, but it seems like a lot of people, even with that ability, that they don't perhaps take it as seriously as they should and just put out anything that they want to online,
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so it
kind of saturates it. It saturates the game.
Yeah. So
it makes artists like me to get looked over more because he might be another rapper. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a rapper. I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? So it gets us artists looked over.
Yeah. So it's definitely. It's like a different point of view. You talking about taking the time and understanding that it's a craft. That it's a craft like anything else. It takes some effort. Not everybody can do it.
Yes, you're right.
So with that being said, I'm just curious about. So what's your relationship with in terms of the music industry, like the indie music industry, mainstream? How are you getting? How are you able to make sure to be able to get your art out to the people?
Right now, like I said, I have my label of Virginia Grind Family. Like we're like a baby label. We just started a year and a half ago. It takes some time to really build. So like even with technology, you got to gain loyal fans. So we put out a lot of free songs. Like on our website, we have over 100 songs. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that through that time, we just it was a learning process. Like with the website, we try to figure out what people like, getting the graphics in different ways, how we send out links so people can download, and getting visuals done. And through that time, once we put that out, after I say even the first mixtape, because if you have good music, people want to hear.
Right.
So when we released the first mixtape, different DJs came at us, wanted to host it, and then we got them hosted, and then just more and more people just started coming. We had to get rid of it. I had to do a little cleansing of the camp because when things were going too fast, the bandwagon was getting pretty full. So I had to do a little cleansing, and then we're in the process of rebuilding again, and in the process of rebuilding, this last summer, there's an independent label / major label that's in Virginia Beach, ghetto government / protecting that records is the Wu-Tang label. I actually signed a solo deal with them this last July. So basically, where I'm signed with them, but I actually have my label too. So I got a 1-album deal with them. There's different ways I could we're getting out there daily. And the main thing is just the visuals, the interesting videos. That's what we've been working on. That's been my main focus. Even with my EP, I'm releasing my EP, and each one of them gonna have an incredible visual with the song, and that can take you off. If they see you, and then you just constantly make new songs. I'm always writing. So I'm not worried about the music. It's just doing the business. So just networking. I spend a lot of time networking. A lot of times making phone calls, a lot of texts, a lot of emails, daily, just to get our song, our label out there more. Each day.
And then I'm glad you brought up the visual side of making music and in terms of videos. Would you mind talking a little bit more about, how you're actually making videos, what goes into creating visuals to go along with the song?
Oh man, the videos are fun. It's just like they're very tedious. Like I just shot the video for my lead single Rage. It was an 8-hour shoot. We did over 10 scenes, and like say you have the song, and then like you take the scene, and then you go over the song. Like you basically putting the energy that like you can actually sing it, or you just lip sing it. Like me, I personally rapped it like I was performing. So if you're watching the video, it looks like I was actually singing it.
Mm-hmm,
You know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lip sing it. That's why even after the video show, I'm dead tired because I spent 8 hours rapping the same song. So it's and then like what he does, like you sit down with the editor and he seeks down each scene, and it's like a process. Like even my video right now is still getting edited because like he might see something different. He might like want to add something, and it's a very long process, but for a 3-4 minute video,
Mm-hmm,
you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very worth it because people want to see visuals these days. It's so easy for them to do it. They can do it on their phone, you know. So that's the way you hit them. You know, if something that's right there at them. They don't have to wait. They don't have to say, okay, I'll wait till I get home to get to the computer. Well, most people these days have smartphones, so all you got to do is just put the link up there with your video for your YouTube, and if you got a good fan base, the visuals will help you spread it more because they're going to do the work for you.
Right.
You know? So that's what we're doing right now. We built all the other parts to the label, and we're really focusing on getting our visuals. That's the thing that we were slipping on before, but now we're doing a lot of them. So
Mm-hmm.
it is definitely take us all to another level once we have these visuals out there more.
So how do you know if if a particular video is effective, if folks are digging it?
By the song, you know, like even like right now, like say the Rage song, like video I just did before we even like dropped the video, like we do like a sample song. Like we don't even play the whole song. We might just play like a verse and the hook. Put it on SoundCloud or whatever sites you can listen to music, YouTube, whatever. And then like just off of that, they like, oh my God, they love it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you show some like you might show some behind the scenes footage or just show some pictures from the video shoot. You know, so now they're like, oh man, I can't wait to see that. I like the song, then I saw pictures of what they're doing. When I seen the little short video about it, man, I want to see that video.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're like the different like that's the steps that we take before we even really focus on like doing a video for a song. Just seeing how the feedback of the song is before we even put the money into making the video.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then that's video. That's all in house, right? Grind Family's they're all doing it in the house, right?
That's the one thing right now that's out of the house.
Okay.
But we have some good. We network and we build good relationships with good people.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's why we they don't knock us over the head. They like our music. They respect our grind. They see that we're an indie label coming up. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, so they don't sit there. If they like your music, like that's one thing I've learned. If people like your music, they're willing to help you more.
Right.
You know.
Right. So
especially if they're in the same field. You know.
Yeah, so I mean that brings up I think you bring up an interesting point I want to talk about a little bit more. It's just in terms of talk about how you network and how you connect with folks. You know, how important is it, and how are you getting that done?
That's funny that you asked that because like I've always been like a people person,
Mm-hmm.
but like that was like if I met you like face to face. You know, I know a lot of people in the world. I've been to a lot of places. I've always connected with people from, and no matter what race you are, no matter what age you are, I want to make you laugh. We're gonna have a good time. You're gonna like me, and I'm gonna like you.
Mm-hmm.
But when the social networking came around, I didn't really want to do that. You know, so like I'm already a people person outside of that. I don't want people to know me online.
Mm-hmm.
But as I noticed that social network is not going anywhere, you know,
right.
this last, like, I say 6 months, like, really, I started getting, I had a Facebook before. Like, I use Facebook now.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Facebook for, like, 2-3 years. Like 2 years when we first started it. I would never use it, you know?
Right.
I was stubborn. I was ignorant, and my pride was just like, they go to our website, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking to you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But because I don't have that, I'm like, what do you want me to say? Like on Facebook, what's on your mind? What do you mean what's on my mind, you know? That's how my thinking was when I first saw that. Like, what do you mean what's on my mind? Why you didn't care what's on my mind? So I wasn't taking it in, but then, like, I swallowed my pride, and, like 6 months ago, I started, like, okay, let me start working in with people, and it was just a learning process too, because the social world is tricky too. You know,
mm-hmm.
Just because it's free and just because it's worldwide doesn't mean that people are going to accept you.
Right.
So I couldn't just force feed the music down their throats, like every day, just saying, "Hey, check out my music." Especially if I haven't been on Facebook or Twitter actually communicating with people, and all of a sudden I just pop up and just start throwing my music. You know, they all look at me like, this ignorant fool, like, conceited dude, like, hey, you never even talked to me before and see how I was doing, and then you want to tell me to check out your music? Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So I took the time to really figure out how I want to do this. Like, so I just started being myself. You know, I just started talking and like just saying like good morning, and then just having conversations, like just open conversations, and then people just start commenting and liking and sharing, and all of a sudden, like right now, like my Facebook is like big, like, you know, like it grows every day, like, because I communicate, like I promote my music, but a lot of times I'm communicating on there, just having fun. Like I might see a question like, what's your favorite movie? Like I put a thing like 300 or Troy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like two movies that are like kind of like the same, and like action wise, and the same kind of topic or story time. Like and then people will comment. In the comments, I say something. I communicate with people in the comments, you know, so they get to see my humor, or I might bust some jokes on the line, and then I you know, come back to the music. You know, it's always like when I'm interacting with them, or I go on their posts, I communicate with them what they're thinking about. If something's bad with them or if something's wrong with them, I might say something like, "Hey, how you doing? I hope you get better. They're sick." So they're like, each day I'm getting like friends that I never really met face to face, but they know me and I know them on certain ways. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I've been doing it.
Okay, so just to kind of jump in a little bit, but you know, as we've been talking about your influences, sort of, I mean, you brought up, you know, VA Grind Family as being compared to Wu-Tang Clan in terms of versatility and all the members bringing their best to form a you know, something bigger than the individual. I'm curious about then, you know, how do you view yourself and VA Grind Family in terms of, you know, hip hop history and hip hop culture?
Oh, we're going to be, if not, you know, another powerhouse. You know, like comparing. If you want to compare what we're building and what we are, is like if you look at Tech Nine and Strange Music. Mm-hmm. You know, that's like a good comparison. Like, and that's like a good blueprint of what me and my partners have, you know, studied, and we follow certain things of what they do to get fans and promote, and it works, and that's what we're striving to be, like major independent, because he's a very big independent label. You know, he has a very big independent label, and his following is crazy. You know, like he has fans that like tattoo the Strange Music logo on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what's so crazy about it today, like, I'm sitting there, like I said, with Facebook, and a person that I communicate on there with, you know, just inbox me. I say, how you doing? I have a question. Okay, what's your question? Do you mind if I get your VGF logo tattooed on me? I'm like, oh, yeah, that'll be alright, but let's wait till we get our like, we're working on our major logo, like, that's a symbol right now.
Right.
You know? So that's big. Like, that's when people started, and that's not the first, so it's like, when you start making that kind of, like, name, and that kind of where people just want to be a part of you that much, that's when you know you're doing something. So we're starting to be one of the biggest empires, so that's ever came out of Virginia. You know, because Virginia is overlooked so much. You know, and like, we have a lot of talent, but a lot of times the artists they get stuck in the hole, because it's kind of sad, because a lot of artists they're originally from Virginia. You know what I'm saying? And they never really been out of Virginia. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not from Virginia, but I came there with a mentality of, I've been around the world, and I know how to deal with any kind of culture, any kind of person, like, because I've dealt with thousands and thousands of people from around the world.
Right.
So I'm not going to get caught in the same old rat race that a lot of artists out here get caught into. You know, like, cause right now, like, I stay in North Carolina. I want to come down here just to, you know, get my mind right and work on my album. And then when I come back at the end of this year, it's going to be over. Because I've been, like, this time I've been gone, my camp's been holding it down. But I'm the general, and they all been waiting for me to come back. So all this stuff that's been happening right now for this because I've been gone for like 6 months, 6 to 9 months. Like, I go back and forth, but all this, the movement has been going without me. I'm there because I let them know what's going on, but when I come back, that's when we're going to take over. You know, we're.
Yeah.
Sorry, what again?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I had what I'm thinking about, talking about, how you definitely been thinking about and studying the folks that have come before that have done it right, that provide good examples. Are there? I'm wondering about that flip side. Are there things that you've seen, that you've studied that you're like, I definitely don't want to make the same mistakes as these folks made?
Oh yeah, that's the person I could look at is me. You know, like before I started this one, I've always been, like I said, I've always been like a leader. You know, natural, even besides music. So I had other groups that I was trying to start before. You know, because I learned a lot of things, like from producing. I know how to produce. I got the engineer ear, and I learned a lot of the business side first. So I had other artists that didn't want to do that, but they had the talent, and they were wanting to form groups. So I tried to get them right, and then I do things, put a lot of money into it, thousands and thousands of dollars, and they're not working, and I'm making the wrong business decisions, and I'm investing in the wrong song, and I was doing all kind of crazy stuff, and it wasn't working. So I learned from my mistakes for real. Like, I'm not doing that again. You know, that's the best time. That's the best person to learn from is yourself. If you actually listen to yourself. I don't, you can see the other people's stories, on TV, or might talk to them on the street every once in a while. Yeah. But you're not living that person's life 24 hours a day. So I live my life, and I made my mistakes in that 24 hour a day period, 7 days a week, 365. So I took that and I said, no, I'm not doing it again.
So, okay, just to sort of switch tracks a little bit, I'm curious about sort of, if you wouldn't mind just discussing your knowledge of Virginia hip hop.
Oh, definitely. Like other artists.
Yeah, and just the sort of community, hip hop community in general, like how it. I mean, what do you know about how it developed? Who's out there, and how are folks related to one another? All that good stuff.
Oh man, the Virginia hip hop scene is it's crazy, man. Like because there's like I said before, there's a lot of talent here. You know, I'm cool with a lot of artists, not just artists from Virginia Grind family. Like I got a lot of friends that are like artists, like in 757, different parts of Virginia, that's making their moves and doing them, but. I guess because it's like a commonwealth or certain things where like they don't let us do certain venues, and then like
right.
So a lot of people are trying to fight into getting in certain venues, and then like it causes a lot of controversy. And if somebody's coming up too much, like they don't want them to come up too much, so they try to slander them and try to put them down. Then like a lot of battles and beefs and everything. Like for what? Like, why are we battling and beefing when nobody's really out there, like, the way they're supposed to be? Yeah, you could be doing your thing where you at, but my thing is taking Virginia to the level to where the world's looking on Virginia, like, with the Neptunes and Mad Skills and Pharrell and Timberland, where, like, people knew it, but the thing about it with those artists, they didn't put Virginia on the map. Like, they did, but they didn't come back. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they didn't open the door like the Jermaine Dupri did, like in Atlanta. That's why you see Atlanta's just they constantly dumping artists in the minute on the radio every day of the year, because they know how to. Hey, this version good. I can make money. You can make money. We all get out there. Boom, let's go. And we have super producers that could do that, but they don't. So I just feel that like once we keep on doing what we do. Like I always open doors. If I know something, I don't hold nothing in. Like that's bad. That's if you have knowledge, you're supposed to share it. You know, that's me. So like, and once we like each day, as we grow, other people grow with us. Like that's not being human. You know, like just trying to keep other people down. The crabs in the barrel, and that's how it is. Like in the Virginia hip hop scene, it's like crabs in the barrel. You know, and like we have to change that mentality. And so that's why I try to do each day. Like when other artists like contact me, I don't just turn my back away like and just say, "Oh, you got to pay me for your advice." You know,
right?
I try to like because they're trying to come up too, because they hit me up. They telling me that they love my music and do you have any advice? You know, what man would I be if I just say, "Nah, just talk to my manager or talk to this"? Nah, like. I remember that day when I asked for people for my advice and for their advice, and I still ask people for their advice. So I'll be a hypocrite. So the scene is definitely going to flourish, like because I think it's building up. Like Virginia is like a volcano that's about to erupt. Is there one person or one group or whatever that's really going? Like, take it to that level, and when they take it to the level, they actually bring other artists too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to say, "Hey, come get signed with me," but no, you just open other people's eyes to that artist. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, because that's what people all, like throughout the game live on is quote unquote cosigns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why can't Timberland and Neptunes and all them cosign different artists from where we're from? Why can't they come in? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it just takes that person when they get out there fully to where they got the international attention to start co-signing other artists and let them know, like, yeah, we do have talent here, and let them know that we can sell out venues all over the state and all over the DMV.
So, you know, you bring up a point I think about venues, but just in terms of seems to be a limited availability of holding shows at places. I'm curious about what are some of the places though where you have performed or you've seen somebody perform where they actually have hip hop?
Right now, like in Virginia, like we went to like the Lounge in Virginia Beach. Got Club Aqua, that's the good venue. The Stone House, and shout out Brenna. Like see, right now we're getting a lot of good promoters in our area.
Mm-hmm.
You know, actually getting the venues. This one lady, Brenna, she does a very good job. She likes our music. She likes independent music, and she loves VA music. And she gives her like her all to opening up venues. So she's opened up like a couple venues for artists that are good venues, like Stonehouse. We performed it before, ripped it up. And we have this place called Taipan that's at Virginia Beach that a lot of people perform at.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Club Aqua. We performed at this club before. It was on the strip, Tropicana. One spot in Newport News is the Twist. Shout out definitely to DJ Tops. He's a DJ that does the strip clubs. And he definitely shows a lot of love to independent artists on Wednesdays. You come out there and perform, and he definitely will open up the door for independent artists too. So, and then you got the Nova. You know, you got the Nova. Once you build your fan base, you do there too.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's venues. It's just like getting. The main thing is getting your loyal fans. You know, and that's what we've been striving to do each day. Just getting loyal fans. And once we get our loyal fans, we can pack out anywhere.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious about whether or not there's a sound or a style to VA hip hop that is unique to VA.
Say again?
Is there a particular sound, a particular like VA hip hop sound that's unique to Virginia as opposed to anywhere else?
So it's like a lot of people what do you call it? They stole our sound. See, like they say about Virginia. Mm-hmm. Virginia is for lovers and hustlers. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say. That's the state, and that's what it is. There's a lot of beautiful women in Virginia. I love my Virginia women, and we hustle here. And every kind of way we grind, it's a grinding state. In every kind of way, from 9 to 5 to the streets. Mm-hmm. So it's like our sound is like the prime example is Trey Songz. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people don't realize Trey Songz. Like you hear him every once in a while, but he first started off rapping. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But like he went over to R&B. So, and other people realize like him and Drake are good friends. And Drake used to come to Virginia to do stuff with him. Boom, boom, boom. Before Drake actually blew up. So if you hang around somebody for a time, learning from them, you start to take from their style and then you run with it. So that's what Drake did. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He just did rapping and then singing. And that's basically our stuff, you know what I'm saying? So that's like our style. And plus you got like people that sound like the Locks, straight gutter, because there's some bad parts of it, like the 7 City, Newport News, Norfolk, so there's some straight grimy. Mm-hmm. Then you got the part where the party, you got the surfers, and then like there's a big a nice independent label out there group. The Jolly Brothers doing it right now. They do the glow. So they got the surfer crowd. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's all kind of styles in one. That's why it's crazy once we actually get to the point to where the world is acknowledging us, because they're going to have all kind of styles to choose from.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then sort of going off that, I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but just I think to reiterate it a little bit more is just, so how would you describe the state of hip hop in Virginia?
The state of hip hop in Virginia is great because we're here. For real, I don't pay attention to the next man when it comes to that. Like when it comes to negativity, when it's talking about the state of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. As long as that we're alive, the state of hip hop is good. You know, as long as I'm breathing, as long as that my family isn't doing anything, it's good. And as all these other artists that's hungry in Virginia doing their thing. The state of hip hop in Virginia is good. You know, we just got to open that door and bring unlike unbrainwash these sheep out here. You know, they want to stick to what they know. You know, the radio and all that. So it takes some time to get their mind right again. But we just going to keep shoving it down their throat. You can't stop realness. So they can dance with all this fake stuff out there, but the truth's gonna be told. Like the truth's gonna be seen. It's gonna come out. You know, the truth will come to light. So, like the state of hip hop in Virginia is good and it's great, and it's gonna grow. And like when we gonna take over, man. Like it's our time. Like it's our time when it comes to this hip hop game. Period. You hear about Georgia, you hear about the West Coast, you hear about New York, you hear about Texas. It's time to hear about Virginia.
Okay. Yeah. I mean that sounds good to me. I mean that's what we're hoping that the collection can showcase too. It's just the amazing talent that's here and all the artists. So I think that's a good way to transition into the last little bit, last few questions. But I'm curious about then. So how has hip hop impacted your life?
Man, it impacted me in the good ways and bad ways. You know, there's like I met a lot of good people, and through music, and like doing this hip hop, and I learned a lot, and I seen a lot. But like me doing hip hop, I actually also hurt a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to personal life, hip hop is a hard game to live in and do when you are in a relationship, or because you're always like doing something, and you always your job is at night, from 11 o'clock to 2 in the morning at a club, or you're going to do a show, or you're at the studio forever, and then you got women that's always around, and so it goes both ways, I love it, and sometimes I hate it, just because because I lost some good people that I really cared about, but I love my music more, because it's been with me since my dad told me the story, when I was in my mom's stomach, he used to put the headphones to her stomach, so I used to kick to the beat, so it's not going nowhere. So at the end of the day, it's been good and bad, to tell you the truth.
Okay, so what do you think? What do you think hip hop's place is in American culture?
Say again?
What do you think hip hop's place is in American culture?
Oh man, hip hop is American culture. Because like I said before, like hip hop, most hip hop is like the struggle. The majority of hip hop, like you got their party songs and all that. Don't get me wrong, we need that. We need the party songs. I like going to clubs seeing girls dance. I love seeing that. I love seeing some songs where you just get you happy. Because you got to be happy. But in all reality, it's not that happy all the dang time. A lot of people go through a lot of bad things and and do a lot of bad things, and they just force it through the music. And it's definitely a big impact in America. Because like we're like a lot of times, like with us, like hip hop artists, like with me, I've been in the military and all that, but like I said, I've done some stuff on the streets, and I know people that, and I seen the struggle. I still see the struggle, and so we voicing what people scared to talk about. Like my main movement, like I said, like it's FTS. F the system, fight the struggle for the supreme beings, free the slave mentality. That's my main movement with my music. I'm free. I'm free, and I'm very outspoken, and I do what I want to do. I don't do to where I don't want no problems. So I try to stay away from bringing the law in any way close to me. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, no man can tell me what to do on this earth. You
Right.
know, so it's like I try to influence other artists or other people, my fans, to get that thinking. Like, you know, forget that. You know, I'm not listening to your lies no more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not listening to what you tell me on the media. I'm going to find my own way of life on here. No, we can't sit back and overthrow the government right now. It might happen, but the thing is, though, while we're here, like, just be you, you know, to the full extent. You know, don't live like no zombie, you know, and just settle for things, be complacent. No, there's more to life than that. But the thing about it, you got to snap out of it. So that's what I try to do with my music. That's why I say hip hop is very influenced in America, but it takes the right people to, like, we're the voice, but you have to actually have something to say. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very influential.
Okay. Yeah. So now thinking like 5, 10, 15, 25 years into the future down the line, what do you think hip hop's place will be in your life?
Oh man, I want to be bigger than P Diddy and Jay Z. You know, when it comes to that, like, I want to be like molding the future. Like different artists from that's the hopefully, or not even hope. I know when we kick down the door, you know, I'm going to be opening up other doors for the future young Virginians that want that opportunity. Because it's not all about me, you know? So that's why I see myself in 15, 20 years molding up another superstar, coming from more superstars making big hits that's from Virginia.
Right.
That's my main goal.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, I'm hoping that happens, man. So in terms of all my stuff, we hit all my questions. But is there anything that let's see, that I didn't ask that I should have asked, or anything you'd like to add?
Really, I'm actually good right now. I enjoyed the interview with you, man. You had some very good questions, and it was, like I said, it was an honor, man. Like, this is definitely a big day for me, just to be in your archives and be a part of Virginia history with William and Mary. Y'all a very prestigious school, and I, like, when I first heard, I'm like, from Jimmy, I was like, man, that's an honor. You know, y'all are very prestigious, and just being a part of something prestigious, you know, makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? So, like, y'all are Virginia history when it comes to university. So, you know what I mean? So just being a part of that all just sums it up. Like I got the stamp from one of the top schools in the nation.
Well, you know, I just want to let you know that you know the pleasure and the honor is mine that you were willing to talk with me. I mean, that's really what the collection's all about in terms of this history is that, you know, we wouldn't have this collection if it wasn't for folks like you that are willing to talk and that are also making the art. So thank you for helping to make this collection grow.